Well, hello, and good evening. Welcome to another segment of Self Care Saturdays. I am Allison Watley, and of course, I am a mental health practitioner, and I am just your sister friend who is here to help I include myself, to live a more holistic and well life. We've been having some tremendous time. This program is presented to you by the Healing Oasis, which happens to be my private practice where I serve the community of married individuals, couples, family in presenting mental health and wellness counseling. We've had some tremendous, phenomenal persons on this platform, and we welcome you today. We see you jumping in. Of course, you know you have to give StreamYard some sort of acknowledgement or agreement, rather, to share your information or share your name so that we can see who is with us. We've had some great times on these Saturdays. We are here with you every first and third Saturday. And of course, we are here with you even throughout in this very particular group, which is THO Wellness, right? The Healing Oasis Wellness Circle. We are here sharing information because we are building this community so that we can be a better people. I believe in holistic living. I believe that we ought to be functioning in wellness on every area of our lives. We are triple threat, right? We are mind, body, soul, and we were created for relationships. And if we are off balance, if we are off kilter, if we are not functioning in wellness on those three levels, guess what? Our relationships will be affected. Our relationships on our job, our relationship in our families, in our churches, wherever we are, in business, our relationship with ourselves. And so we've had some phenomenal people coming along to help us to sort of achieve some of that wellness. And today, listen, I know it is Women's Health or Women's Awareness Month. And we've been having some tremendous sisters on this platform, blessing us and gracing us with their wisdom. But today, for my brothers and for us, actually, because we're going to learn, we have a phenomenal gentleman who is, I call him the fitness guru. Listen, I'm so grateful for his life because I recently met him and have been impacted by his life already. And I just knew that he would be very, very great for this platform. So a little bit about who my speaker is. I'm going to tell you, listen. And he's going to present today on physical activity as a prevention, to chronic disease. Listen, all right, it's heavy already. Physical activity as a prevention to chronic disease. He's the president of the Body Sculpt of New York, right there in Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn, are you in the house today? Yeah, I know you are. He's the host of the 6 Weeks Fitness podcast. I believe I posted this for us to be able to be a participant of, and these things were presented to us at the cost of free 99. Hey, how about that? That's great. He's a certified personal trainer. He's a U.S. Navy veteran. Thank you so much, sir, for your service. He's the creator of the Children's Sports and Fitness Expo. I posted a video of what they do. Oh my God, I'm amazed. He's the creator of the 6 Weeks to Fitness program. He's a speaker, he's an author, and he has a phenomenal podcast where he shares with other professionals as well on fitness, and we have him today. So I want you to help me to welcome to this platform Mr. Vincent Ferguson. Hello, sir. I believe you have to unmute yourself before we get into it. Unmute yourself somewhere there, but we are so excited.
Okay.
There you go. We're excited to be here on today with you. I know your little clip of your bio told us a little bit about who you were and what you do, but I know you are bigger than that. You're larger than life, and I'm so grateful again for you taking out your time, the time out of your busy schedule to be here. Listen, people, wellness pursuers, If you have questions, you know what to do. Put it in the chat. Of course, we are going to be sharing, and we are going to be letting you guys know. Faustina says, "Welcome, Vincent." Jennifer Foster says, "Good evening, everyone." Thank you, Jennifer. And of course, all of those who are on here whose name I can't see. Jacqueline Doyle, welcome, 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 welcome. And of course, I would get to the chat in a minute. Trina, thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Elder Bush, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nikki, thank you so much for joining. And for those of you who are on our YouTube side, we thank you so much for joining. But listen, tell us a little deeper, Vincent. Why is fitness so important to you? I know you got a presentation, but why is it so important to you in a little nutshell? Why is this so important to you?
Well, fitness is important to me because without fitness, what can you do? I mean, even if you believe in being prosperous, without your health, what do you have?
Right.
Your health matters, and that's why when you told me that you do self-care Saturdays, I said, okay, that makes sense to me, and I wanted to be a part of it, because self-care to me means when you make your health a priority. You have to make your health a priority.
Yeah.
And if you're traveling on an airplane, the first thing that the stewardess is going to tell you before you take off, in case of an emergency, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. You can't help anyone if you can't help yourself first. Okay? So it's not about being selfish, it's about being self-aware. And that's why fitness is important to me, because I know if I'm fit, I can do whatever it is I need to do in life. And I can help those in need.
Wonderful.
Right? I can't
Wonderful.
help you if I can't help myself.
That's right. That's right. And I'm so happy you started off with that whole. I often use that the fact that the air stewardess tells us to put our mask on if something would have happened. I often use that in my any presentations or even on this very platform. I have used that because a lot of times particularly we people of color, we feel guilty whenever we take that time out to say, let me pause because it's my time today. It's my time. I got to take care of me so that I can be a better mother. I can be a better sister, a better friend, a better whatever, a better brother, a better father, right? And so we have to be changed. We have to change our mindset a whole lot of times in order for us to be able to embrace that, particularly, mothers. I've traveled and I've seen mothers cringe when that go on because they have their little babies in their arms and they're like, what? I have to put, yeah, but if you think about it long enough, you'll understand that if I'm drowning, I can't help you. So I
Exactly.
have to make sure that I'm surviving. And
Yes.
so on this platform, we are about not just surviving, Vincent, we are about thriving in every area of our lives. And so I want to remove myself out of the picture so that you can get to share your information with us. At the end, we will take some questions. And of course, we're just going to flow. We easy breezy like Sunday morning right here. And so I'm yielding this platform to you as you present to us what it is to be fit and to eliminate chronic diseases. Yeah? All
Yeah.
right. So let's rock and roll. And it's in your hands.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm not going to be long before you, but I just want to give you a brief presentation on physical activity as a prevention to chronic disease. And if you can go scroll down to the next slide, Allison. Now, I just want to say that in 2020, the United States spent over $2.2 trillion on healthcare. And according to the Center for Disease Control, 85% of that money was spent on people with chronic and, in most cases, preventable disease. We're talking about obesity, heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, asthma, cancer, Parkinson's, dementia. And again, I say that these diseases are preventable. You don't have to have them. Even if your parents may have had heart disease, or diabetes, or cancer, it does not mean that you have to have the same disease. Okay? You don't. It don't. Once you know what to do, once you know how to prevent it, it can be prevented. All right, and that's what we want to talk about today. Next slide, please. Now, compared to our white counterparts, African Americans or people of color are generally at higher risk for chronic disease. Now, why is that? Why is it that our people suffer from chronic disease? And I looked at this and I said, well, this to me is not acceptable. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, and I believe it's in 3 John, second verse, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. So I believe that health and prosperity goes together. You can't be prosperous, truly prosperous, without your health. So I'm saying, let's get our health in check because we all want to be wealthy, but we all should also want to be healthy. Next slide, please. Now, I created a program called 6 Weeks to Fitness. Okay. And this program is a 6-week program where I invite participants to participate in fitness and nutrition activities for a total of 6 weeks. Because I have shown for the last 10 years that you can lose weight and reduce chronic disease in as little as 6 weeks. The 5 people you see here have lost over 100 pounds in 6 weeks. The diabetes went away, heart disease, they released so many pounds, but they did it from the system that I'm going to share with you today. Next slide, please. What I told everyone, I gave them some steps to do. And I said the first step you're going to do when it comes to getting healthier, to losing weight, to reducing chronic disease, is to change your mindset when it comes to exercise. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You either have a negative mindset or a positive mindset when it comes to exercise. How many of us are saying, well, I'm too old to exercise, or it's too late for me, I don't have the time to exercise, or I've tried it, and I've always tried to lose weight, it never worked for me. That's a negative mindset. You already started failure. You already started defeating the process. You have to think positively if you want positive results. It's a can-do attitude. Change that mindset. I can lose weight. I can reduce chronic disease. So I tell all my participants, the first thing you have to do is change the way you think. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The next step, next slide, please. The next step, I tell people that you have to know your why. Why is it important to you to lose weight? Why is it important to you to get rid of the diabetes, the heart disease? Do you have children? Do you want to see your children grow old? Do you want to see your children's children? What is it? You have to have a strong enough why to make it happen. Whatever it is in your life, you have to know your why. And once you know your why is going to hold you accountable. It's going to give you that intrinsic motivation to go after your personal goals. So it's the mindset and know your why. And then the next step I tell my clients and my participants, next slide, please. The next step is to change the way you eat. Nutrition is so important. And I know you've heard this before. There was a Greek physician by the name of Hippocrates over 2,500 years ago. He said, let food be your medicine and medicine your food. Now, he knew what he was talking about because if you look at the slide, on the left, you see the standard American diet. Hamburgers, French fries, whether it be sweets, high sodium products, high processed foods. Those foods have no nutritional value. You are a living being, a living creature created by God. Why are you eating dead food? You're not feeding your body on a cellular level. But conversely, to the right, you see fruits and vegetables with all the enzymes, the macronutrients, micronutrients. In other words, living food, whole foods. That is what we should be eating, but we're not eating enough of it. And that's why we're having the problems that we're having. So I'm telling people that you have to eat living food if you are a living person. And if you want to live, your skin looks better when you're eating living food. All right? Your body functions a lot better. There's a scripture in the Bible in Genesis 1:29. It says, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be meat. You can live off of fruit and vegetables. The largest animals in the world are vegetarians. So don't let anyone tell you you can't live off of fruit and vegetables. You sure can. Yes, let food be your medicine, because food can heal you. Your body was meant to heal itself. So when we talk about reducing or reversing chronic disease, we're talking about feeding your body on a cellular level so it can heal itself. All right. So this is what I tell the participants in my group. This is what you have to do. You want to lose weight, you lose it automatically by changing the way you eat, by giving your body the fuel that it needs. So this is what it's all about. So that's step number 3. So now the next slide, please. Now, you may wonder, well, what does vitamin D and your immune system have to do with the steps? Well, let me tell you, when I have these programs, I talk about your immune system and I talk about vitamin D. Now, do you know that 70% of your immune system is in your gut? 70%. So if you want to heal your body, you have to change the way you eat, because that's what's going to help it. Most and 95 to 100% of all diseases, heart disease, cancer, dementia, hypertension, asthma, all these diseases begin where? In your gut. And that is something that the Greek physician Hippocrates said over 2,500 years ago. But what happened, the pharmaceutical age companies got involved and they started messing stuff up. In the early 1900s, the Rockefeller Foundation took over the pharmaceutical industry. And they got rid of all the doctors that was talking about, that was treating their patients with herbs and seeds. And now you have Big Pharma, and for a lot of these medications have petroleum oil in it. Okay, so therefore now our immune systems are being robbed of the nutrients that it needs. So now if you realize that 90% to 100% of all diseases begin in the gut, it makes sense to now focus on nutrition. Am I right? It makes sense to start feeding your body properly. Am I right? To get where you want to be, to reduce chronic disease, you have to start focusing on your immune system. And did you know that vitamin D is one of the most important vitamins that actually is a hormone, one of the most important that we have today that you need for your immune system? Most of the people who were affected by COVID, who died or even hospitalized by COVID, had low levels of vitamin D. Did you know that? Most people are not aware of that. But did you know that 85% of the country have low levels of vitamin D? If you're overweight, chances are you have low levels of vitamin D. People of color, most people of color are vitamin D deficient. But you're not going to hear that. So that's why I challenge you. You go to your doctor, have them check your vitamin D levels. Because if you have prostate cancer, if you're a man and you have prostate cancer, chances are you have low levels of vitamin D. Vitamin D will boost your immune system. If you get cancer, check your vitamin D levels. Most cancer patients have low levels of vitamin D. So in the midst of working on a 6-week program, I have to talk about your immune system, because I want you to strengthen your immune system so that you can reduce chronic disease naturally. Now, we know we get vitamin D from the sun, but what happens in the fall and winter months? You get less sunlight, right? And when you get less sunlight, you're also getting less vitamin D. So the fall and winter months is known as the what? what's that? The cold and flu season, correct? But do you know that the fall and winter months is not really a cold and flu season? The cold and flu months are a vitamin D deficiency season. That's what it is. And this is from doctors, reputable doctors who've done studies. Most people who get the flu during the winter and the fall months have low levels of vitamin D. When they told us to shelter in place, stay indoors, don't go out, you get less exposure to the sun. Therefore, more people got sick. So this is something that I'm very passionate about because I know the power of vitamin D. God gave us the sun. And those of us, when we were living in Africa, we had a darker skin because to protect us from the sun. Okay? That's what, and God in all his wisdom, he knew what he was doing, he or she. But now that we're in a different climate and we have darker skin, we're not getting the sun, it's not penetrating to our skin. Okay? So this is a fact that we must make ourselves aware of. We want to be truly healthy. All diseases begin in the gut. Most of your immune system is in your gut, and vitamin D will help you get rid of a lot of these diseases. You have to make sure your vitamin D levels are adequate. And because you're not going to get enough from the sun, you have to do supplementation, which is vitamin D3. And I strongly recommend that. Okay, so I know I have a lot to say when it comes to vitamin D, and I can't have so much time, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because if you start to check on your vitamin D levels, okay, most of you are going to find that it's low. But most doctors won't tell you because 94% of doctors don't take nutrition in medical school. So they don't tell you about nutrition. And I'm not faulting the doctor. They're just not taught that. They're taught a pill for every ill. But I'm talking about the real deal here. And I also say, when it comes to nutrition, eat more of what God made, eat less of what man made. Okay? That's one of my mantras. Eat more of what God made, less of what man made. When you eat dinner tonight, are you eating something that was made up, something that was put together by man? Or are you eating something that was given to us from God, whole foods? Ask yourself that. Because if it was given from God, you're going to benefit from it. You're going to heal whatever issues you have, because the body was meant to heal itself. But you have to give it the nutrients that it needs. That's what it's craving. It's not craving soda and cookies and candy, because it doesn't know what to do with that. Do you know that 20% of the calories you consume goes to your brain? 20%. So if you have children, if you wonder why they're not doing good in school, change their diet. Cut out the sugar, the sweets, the candies. Make that a very rare snack, if at all. Okay? 20% goes to your brain. All right, I think I said enough about nutrition, but hopefully you understand where I'm going. Next slide, please. Now, after all that, after getting a handle on the nutrition, on your immune system, changing your mindset, knowing your why, now it's time to start an exercise program. Now it's time, okay? Not before. You do the nutrition first. Now you do the exercise. Because you see, exercise gives you more energy. It helps you control your weight. All right? It reduces the risk of chronic disease. It promotes better sleep. You sleep better after a good day, after exercising in the morning or the afternoon or the evening, whatever you can get it in. It also increases blood flow. And I tell a lot of the young men that I know that, when it comes to blood flow, a lot of the issues that we have when it comes to erectile dysfunction is because of lack of blood flow. And if you have a poor diet, eating foods that's highly processed, high sugar, hydrogenated oils, it's going to clog up your arteries. It's going to cause the blood flow to slow down. And if you're not moving your body and exercising, it's like a perfect storm. So of course, the blood is not going to go to the vital sexual organs where you want it to go. It's not going to go there ways freely. So if you want to loosen it up, and you can get things flowing again, you got to drink a lot of water, you got to eat more fruits and vegetables, and you got to move that body. If your house is your castle, chances are your chair has become your throne, because we are spending more time watching TV in our chairs, spending more time, playing video games in our chairs. Even when you're driving, you're sitting down. When you're eating your dinner or breakfast, whatever it is, usually you're sitting down. So scientists are calling sitting the new smoking. Okay? So you have to move that body. The body was meant to move. Now, exercise will also strengthen your bones and your muscles. Now, for the women who are worried about osteoporosis, it would be nice to get involved with exercise, because that's going to help strengthen your bones. It also helps relieve stress and puts you in a better mood. Yes, it does. Makes you feel a lot better and become more productive. Next slide, please. Now, there's different types of exercise. There's cardiorespiratory, which is like an aerobics. And that's what you do when you're walking, you're jogging, you're biking. I mean, everyone on this call today can do one of these activities. And I would recommend at least do a walking activity. According to the American Heart Association, they recommend that adults get 5 days of 150 minutes of moderate exercise each week, which comes down to like 30 minutes a day for 5 days. Okay? But I'm saying that you should be moving your body every day. Every day. And when I'm doing my 6-week program, I tell all my participants, you got to start moving. Whether walking, find an activity that you enjoy, and you need to do it, okay, at least 4 or 5 times a week. And you see walking is an excellent activity. Walking strengthens your heart. There were studies done in Europe and in Asia on people who lived to be 100 or more years old. And they call it the blue zones. And they found that what these people had in common is that they all ate mostly a plant-based diet, right? And they walked at least 30 minutes a day. They walked 30 minutes a day. And again, plant-based. Ate more what God made, less of what man made. And that extended their lives. And they were very big on community, togetherness, working together, family. That kept these people around for a long time. So that's what eating healthy and exercise can do for you. All right. So again, I recommend you guys at least start a walking program, at the very least. Because again, it strengthens your heart, you lose weight, it puts you in a better mood. And what more could you ask for? Right, next slide, please. So we talked about aerobics. Now this is strength training. I'm a big proponent of strength training. I'm a big proponent of strength training, because strength training will do a lot for your heart, also for your muscles. Now, a lot of women are afraid to do strength training when it comes to like weights, because they have a fear that, if I lift weights, I'm going to look like a man. I'm going to get big muscles like a man. And that's not true. Women have very little levels of testosterone, the male sex hormone. Men have testosterone, so we get bigger muscles, right? But women, when you work out, you become more toned, right? And you start to really become stronger, more confident. And you also want to strengthen your bones, because again, you worry about osteoporosis. We don't want to worry about that. So we want to keep our bones nice and strong. And one of the best ways to do it is through strength training. And it also makes you more productive, okay, when you're doing your daily activities. And you can also do push-ups, pull-ups, lunges, squats. Those are all strength training exercises using your own body weight. But I'm saying to you that if you incorporate nutrition and exercise into your daily routine, you can reduce chronic disease. And you should do this Let's say if you get involved with a strength training program, you can do strength training 2 days a week, just 2 days. And you can do the aerobic activities like walking 3 days a week. That's a 5 day routine right there. That's all you need. That routine and eating healthier, changing your diet, drinking plenty of water, then you're well on your way to reducing chronic disease. It's not rocket science, true, but it's a method, a system. Your body needs it. Your body needs good food. Your body needs to move. I know as we get older, we want to sit back in our chair and watch the kids run around and the grandkids run around. But you know what? That's because they have the energy. We have energy, but we rather sit down instead of expending our energy. We have to get off the chair and start moving. You know, a lot of us go to the mall. Well, instead of taking the escalator in the mall, take the stairs. Instead of driving right to the entrance of the mall, drive further away and walk to the mall. Walk a ways. Get off the bus a few stops from your home and walk. Do this on a consistent basis and you won't regret it. All right, so this is strength training. What strength training will do. So now, and again, to further talk about strength training, go to the next slide for me, Allison. I just want to demonstrate why strength training is important. You see, when you're doing strength training, if you have 5 pounds of fat, that's a lot of fat. But look at 5 pounds of muscle. It's almost a third of the size. Lean muscle takes up less space than fat. So as you build muscle, you're going to lose inches and you're going to shrink the fat. See, that's a big difference there. And that really is what it's about. So when you start working out, and especially strength training, you start losing inches. The scale is not going to tell you, because the scale can't tell the difference between the fat loss and muscle gain. But you can tell by the way your clothes fit and the way you look in the mirror. So that is why I recommend to all my clients and all the people involved in my programs that you start a weight training, a strength training program that's going to help you, and it's going to help you in addition to the nutrition to reduce heart disease, diabetes, dementia, okay, hypertension. It's going to help you in so many ways by just changing the way you eat and the way you move. This is what it's all about. Next slide. Now, I have a podcast. Some of you, if you heard from Allison, and I've interviewed some of these people. I call them my friends now because they took the plunge. They changed their eating habits and they started working out. And Jaden here, who's now a Marine, he's the owner of Mr. Health and Wellness, lost 135 pounds in 1 year. He's out of North Carolina. 135 pounds. No surgeries, just changing the way he ate. And he started an exercise program. Reduced diabetes, other issues that he had. If he had any other high blood pressure, that's gone. Because again, exercise will help you to reduce high blood pressure. So this is what we're talking about. And look at Tanisha. Look at it. I mean, again, 103 pounds in 18 months. And she's proud of it. Because again, these are people who took those steps and said, look, I can do this. You know, it may not happen totally in 6 weeks, right? But I'm talking about over a course of a year, 135 pounds. That's amazing. Next slide, Allison. So I'm just showing you what works. A good friend of mine, Jada Hooks Wilson, she was 300 pounds, right? And she went down, she lost 135 pounds in 2 years. And now she's lost even more. And she is amazing. But again, no drugs, no surgery, just changing her diet to plant-based. She's a vegan now. And now she's also has her own spa. She does massage. She's a trainer, all that good stuff. Now, I forgot to mention that Janelle Salazar, she lost 75 pounds in a year. I didn't put that down. I forgot to put that down. But she's also now a personal trainer. Her issue was she never ate vegetables as a kid. She never ate any vegetables. I couldn't believe that. I said, wait a minute, what do you mean you never ate? But she explained to me her mother just never cooked vegetables. It wasn't until she moved to Vegas that she was exposed to other eating styles and she changed her diet. And now look at her now. And she's a model as well. So she's doing quite well for herself. Next slide, please. Now, Tamara Tyrus. This is a young woman, 438 pounds, lost over 200 pounds. Okay, so, and as I spoke with her, she lost an additional 50, right? But anyway, this is a woman who was about to commit suicide because she was so unhappy with her life. And she was writing out like a last will and testament. I mean, really writing it out, and then decided that, you know what, I want to live. I want to live. And so she started changing her diet, learned about that, and started an exercise program. And look at her now. But this is a woman who's going to give up on her life. But instead, she said, no, life is worth living. And look at her. And my friend here from Queensland, Australia, Tafara, look at her. She lost 70 pounds, and now she's a trainer, a fitness trainer. But these are people who actually put the system to work for themselves and realize that your health is your wealth. And your body was meant to heal itself, but you have to give it what it needs. And if you do that, you won't regret it. That's what it's all about. And again, reducing chronic disease, yes, but through fitness and nutrition. Next slide. Right. So I want you to remember, as we conclude here, that when it comes to physical activity as a prevention to chronic disease, I'm going to give you the quote from Jack LaLanne, a fitness guru from the 1970s and 80s. He said, exercise is the king and nutrition is the queen. And you put them together and you have a kingdom. And again, he knew what he was talking about. He lived to be 96 years old. So it's not one without the other. You can't say exercise is going to do it by itself. It's not going to do it by itself. You can't say nutrition alone will do it by itself. It's together. Okay? Your health is truly your wealth. But exercise and nutrition together, you have a kingdom. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys play chess, the game of chess. Now, I played in the Navy, I played for my school team. And I've always learned that although the king is the most valuable piece on the board, the most powerful piece is the queen, the most powerful piece on the chessboard. And so when Jack LaLanne said that exercise is a king, true, but nutrition is the queen. That queen makes it happen. That queen, once you put that nutrition to work, there's nothing you can't do. Your chronic disease has to go. I don't care what it is, asthma, high blood pressure. You don't have to take pills. The doctors give you a pill for every ill. You don't have to. Of course, I'm not saying don't take your doctor's advice. All I'm saying is it doesn't have to be that way. Let's focus on prevention. Let's focus on prevention. Let's see how we can strengthen our bodies. Let's give exercise and nutrition a chance because you can do this. All right? This is not rocket science, but you can do it. And it's free. Without all that I told you today, it's free. You don't have to pay one dime to get your life the way you want it to be. Okay? This is the key. And that's pretty much all I have for you. And I appreciate your time, and I hope you've gotten something out of it today.
Woo! I was literally cringing in the back because so much of what you said is really applicable to me first, and even before hearing what those that are in the chat and in the group heard. But the mindset, because I've joined several gyms, and Faustina, a life coach, which was our previous guest from 2 weeks ago, she's a nutritionist, and she was phenomenal, and she was just in there agreeing with particularly the nutrition part of it. But going back to the exercise and understanding that first it starts with your mindset, and being that I'm a mental health practitioner and a coach in itself, of how our minds can really affect how we think, really do affect what we do and how we do it. A lot of times, Vincent, I've joined gyms, paid membership for great gyms, and start off well and then flop
Right.
because I realize along the way that I talk myself out of it.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
talk myself out of even enjoying exercise because the first thing I say is, I don't like to exercise.
Hmm.
I say it all the time. And those of us who are believers and those of us who understand the power of our words
Yeah.
know that I just talked myself into failure,
Yes.
literally. And
Exactly.
so, changing our language, and that is applicable to a lot of what we do, a lot of life, period. Changing how we see it, how we speak, even about our own selves. I love the fact that it starts with the mindset and then moving to your why. Let's see if we have any questions in the chat or any comments. Jennifer Foster says, true, health is truly and really your wealth. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for joining with us and being on here. Thank you. Faustina, again, she said, so true. It starts with our mindset. Absolutely.
Yes.
And we do have a question. What would help? What would help get rid? I'm assuming get rid of droopiness and cellulite in the legs. Strength training or aerobics?
Oh, good question. And hands down, strength training. Okay, that tightens up the skin. That tightens up the body. So hands down, strength training. Start doing some lunges, some squats. That's going to help that area. Okay, hands down.
All right. Any more questions? Come on. We listen, we can't have this man come in here and you don't have questions. So you better put those questions in the chat. Following up with Faustina's question about strength training, and I do agree with you. A lot of times, us as women, particularly, say, I really don't want to get big. I don't want to get bulky. If I don't go to the gym, are there any things that I can do home base, or if I don't have money for gym or whatever? I know you commission for walking, and it just give me a little bit of an idea. But if I don't have the time, or whatever it is that my excuses are
Right,
to
right.
go to the gym,
Yes, there's so
can I
many.
benefit home?
Oh, yes, there's so many exercises you can do. I mean, you can if you guys have a jump rope, I would recommend the jumping rope. That's one of the most effective cardiovascular and a strength training exercise, actually. So I would recommend jumping rope. That's
Yeah.
why boxers do it. They're very thin, very lean. Put it not thin, very lean. But I would do that. I would also do push-ups. You can do push-ups off your knees and try to build up your upper body strength. So eventually you can do regular push-ups as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would recommend the push-ups. I would also recommend crunches. You got to work the core, this area here. Okay, very very important. I wrote a book, and it's actually coming out. It's my I just revised it. It's coming out again in a couple of days. It is 6 weeks to a flatter stomach. All
Oh,
right,
what?
6 weeks to a flatter stomach, and it's only going to be $10. So if you guys are
Listen,
interested,
sold, sold.
and it's based on the program that I've been doing all these years. Information
Yes.
of what to do. So there's tons of exercises. You can do lunges at home as well, jumping jacks at home. You can do curls if you have some bottled water. I
Nice.
mean, and the book demonstrates all that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. So there's a lot you can do at home. That's no excuses like, well, I don't have time to go to a gym. You can work out at home for sure. I do. I work out at home sometimes.
Oh, great. Barbara Brown says, I know you can't see her name, but that's Barbara Brown. She says, and there are several apps out there to help you. How do you feel about those apps? I know we have, well, the latest craze we had was Peloton, and Peloton doing all, I don't know if anybody's Peloton is collecting clothes. I don't buy equipment because that's what's going to become. It's going to become a clothing rack.
Right.
Again, in my mindset. So I'm shifting. Maybe if I do buy one now, it's going to be different. But she recommended YouTube, and she also said that there's several apps that you can have on your phone that will, help you. Just like, we recommended, she was one of our speakers as well, and recommended that app Calm to get you in that mood of mindset. There's something about, working alongside. I'm a big fan rather of working doing aerobics. That has been my jam, my thing.
Okay. Let me say one thing about aerobic. Well, let me get back to the question. Yeah, she's right. There's different apps you can use. I don't use any apps, but now this is like Fitbit. There's different apps that's out there that can be quite effective if you're an app person. And also there's like you got these other apps that keep track of your walking, and steps like that. I mean, that's important for people who want to keep track, make sure they're doing a certain amount of walking. That's good. Whatever it takes to get you where you need to be. Okay, that's very important. But let me say something about aerobics. Aerobics is excellent, right? It strengthens your heart, you burn some calories, but make sure the reason why I'm such an advocate for strength training, in addition to that, is because when you do strength training, you're working on building lean muscle, right?
Mm.
And lean muscle, when you start building lean muscle, you're going to burn fat a lot quicker and easier than aerobics. If I'm doing aerobics on the treadmill, if I'm running on the treadmill, if I'm just running for 30 minutes, all right, I'm sweating, I'm burning calories. But when you stop burning calories right there. If you're doing strength training, I mean, lifting weights, whatever it is, after you finish, you're still burning calories hours later.
Wow.
So that's why aerobics is great for the heart, strengthen the heart, but you want to do strength training. That's really going to get you to burn that fat
Yeah,
for
yeah.
hours later.
Ooh, yes, I have to implement. I am going to implement. You see, I'm changing my language. I am going to implement. Let me just get who is this that's giving us that wealth of information in the chat. Because again, for those of you who are joining with us and you're on the Facebook side, of course, we're using StreamYard. So oftentimes you have to give StreamYard permission to see your name so that we can know who is chatting up with us. But I can tell from here. Barbara Brown said planks while watching TV. What, girl? You planking while watching TV?
There you go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's so powerful. 'Cause I tell
Yeah.
people, I said, look, even while the commercial's on, jog in place, do some push-ups, do some planks. You can do it even while you're watching the TV. Okay? And if you're going to I mean, make use of your time. And
Yeah.
you can build up your cardio every time it's a commercial. Get up there and do some running, some steps, some dancing, some push-ups. Before you know it, you're sweating, you're feeling good.
Faustina says she does dance aerobics. Oh, that must be fun. That must be fun. I have to implement. I notice my language is changing, right? I will implement. I will implement something that is active that I like doing. That is also going to help me with moving. Okay. There's a question. How can we get more information on your 6 weeks program?
Okay, so we just finished up a 6-week program a
Mhm.
couple weeks ago, as you know, Allison, and it was paid for by the UFT. So
Oh,
we had about 100 people sign up, and the one thing about these 6 weeks programs, 100 may sign up, but how many people finished to the end, right? So we had like 35 finish, which is pretty
wow.
good, and they have testimonials of losing weight and all that good stuff. So I'm hoping to do another one sometime soon, but
Okay.
we have to get it sponsored. But you can find out more information. You can either go to my website. You can go to www.6weekstofitness.com. That's the number six.
Oh,
www.6weekstofitness.com.
6 weeks.
That's where my podcast is located as
And that
well.
two would be TO or the number two.
It's 6 weeks to TO.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Fitness.com.
.com.
Okay.
And that's where I'll be posting any updated programs.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So those of you wellness seekers, you are going to find, I'm going to post this link, but it's 6 weeks to fitness.com. I hope I spelled everything correctly.
Yeah.
Valerie Brantley said Zumba is her thing. Faustina says she got it. I have some clients who may benefit. Absolutely. This is what this platform is also about. So we can make that divine connection as well. Yes.
Well, matter of
Jennifer.
fact, if I can say,
Mhm.
on my YouTube channel, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is 6 weeks to fitness, all spelled out SIXWEEKS to fitness. And you can see 6 weeks of my 6-week program.
Yeah.
We actually streamed it on YouTube. So
Yes, you
you can
did.
see that we had Zumba, different types of activities, we had nutrition, All of that is on available on my 6 weeks of fitness YouTube channel, week 1 through week 6. It was 2 classes a week, 12 sessions. So you can
You
go
had a
there.
nutrition piece as well to that.
I cannot do this without nutrition. I
Yeah.
mean, I know people love to get up there and shake their body, but you got to learn the importance of eating healthy. That's going to make the difference, really.
Mm,
When you change the way you eat, and it's
yeah.
going to help your thinking too. When you eat better, you think clearer.
Jennifer says it's really true that exercise and nutrition works well together. I have been exercising without paying much attention to nutrition. So, of course, I have lost the weight, but I have a tummy. Oh, come on. How can we address this tummy issue right now? What can we do? I know nutrition is a big part of it. Um, yeah,
It,
yeah,
it's a very big part of it. Okay, it's a huge part of it.
yeah.
Also, when you strength training is important when it comes to flattening the gut as well, because you want to build lean muscle, and when
Right.
you build lean muscle, you're going to burn fat all over. That's
Yeah.
why, again, I'm harping on strength training. That's going to help you to reduce the gut. There's no such thing as spot reducing, but you can reduce all over when you do strength training. That's what I
Strength
want you to think.
training. So we're going to be doing some strength training.
Yes, yes.
Lucas, that one of our gentlemen, one of our brothers in the chat, he's advocating for strength training. Come on, and
Yeah,
of course, men. He mentioned, if we want to facilitate that blood flow to eliminate,
correct.
um,
Yeah,
erectile dysfunction and all those stuff. This is what we about. We about holistically being healed. Being able to function as the Lord had really, really wanted us to function, which is in wellness, which is in great health. Zumba is my thing, Valerie says. Camille, I have strength training, especially working my legs. For the past 2 weeks, I have been getting pain in my left knee, which causes me not to go to the gym regular. But my question is, what is the best strength training to avoid aggravating the pain anymore? Mm,
well, if you're having pain in your knee, that's very delicate. All right. So the thing is, you have to give that area rest. You don't want to aggravate it. That's the most important thing. If you're having pain in that knee, you have to figure out what caused that pain. Were you doing the exercise properly? Were you putting too much weight on that on the joints? Okay, but you need to rest it so you don't have that pain anymore. You don't want to work through the pain.
mhm.
When someone tells me pain, I'm like, okay, you don't want to work through the pain. You got to give your body time to heal from the pain. All right, and you can work around it by not doing any leg exercises right now. Especially, let's say for instance, if you're doing squats. If it hurts when you're doing squats, stop the squats. Okay, do the leg extensions if that don't hurt you. Do the leg curls. All right, work around that muscle, that area. All right, don't stress that particular muscle if you're having pain there. That's what I would say. And if you want to talk more about it, you can always call me. My number is 917-523-7379. And I'll answer your questions more directly if you have a little more information you want to share about that issue, feel free to call me.
Okay, we're gonna share in the groups, and for those of you that are on YouTube, we are definitely going to share all the information of how you can get in touch with Vincent for further, instructions, or how you can get. He's a personal trainer as well, so you can get his assistance. One of the things that I saw in the chat, and this was by Barbara Brown, she said that you also want to check your doctor, make sure that that pain is nothing more than just muscle pain, or as you rightfully said, you said check what's causing that pain
Right.
and before. So Camille, we want you to be well, we want you to be healthy and whole, and
Yeah.
we want you to make sure that you're doing everything in the proper order. The YouTube channel again is 6 weeks to fitness.com. 6 weeks to fitness, all of that we would share with you. And who was that was asking that question? Again, yes, we're going to share all the information for Vincent and how you can get the YouTube channel and all of that good stuff. Actually, it's all some of the information is already in our group, the Wellness Circle. Let's see if we have any more questions. We have a few more minutes with Vincent with us. So if We have any more questions? Come on in. Okay. Will your book link be posted on websites or on Amazon?
Well, actually, the book is already on Amazon now, Amazon Kindle.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But I'm going to also put it on my website.
Awesome.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Kindle version is available for immediate
Yeah.
purchase.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. As a matter of fact, Faustina, we received your copy of Transition. She's also an author, and we will be giving one of those to the Kindle version to one of our viewers. So I will also, in support of Mr. Vincent, be also giving one of our viewers um, that book as well, the Kindle version. We're going to start off with the Kindle version. So look forward to getting an email from us or some sort of text or something to let you know that you were the winner. Of course, we're going to do a nice little, sharing in the group space so that you would be able to know that each and every person has a chance to get that book. It's not going to be because of any suspicious things. That's not what we do here. Hey, Dr. Winstead, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. This person says, have a weakness on right side. What are good strengthening exercise? Let me see who that is first so you can know who you're addressing. Oh, that's Dwayne Lucas. Dwayne Lucas, he says he have a weakness on his right side, which is my right side. Yeah. What are some good strengthening exercises that he can do?
Okay. My first question would be: is it a weakness or is it pain?
Right.
If it's pain, he needs to have it checked out, right? But if a weakness, then basically strength training exercises. Again, when it comes to, you can do, if you have dumbbells, light dumbbells, you can do these exercises here. Like, you can do the pull downs. All right, when if you're using weights in the gym, that helps the upper back. It also hits that area. You can do crunches from each side, right and left side, because you want to find out what's causing that area to be weak. All right. If it's pain, you have to have it checked out by a professional. But if it's weakness, you just need to do strength training, working the entire body. That's what I would say. Okay. And I'm not sure if you're doing any crunches. There are crunches for your obliques. Obliques is the side of your abs. You should be doing those. Okay, that would also strengthen that side of your abdominal area. All right, and those are your obliques. And in my book, there's crunches there as well.
Mm,
But,
awesome,
but
awesome,
yeah, but you can just Google that and you'll find out. You can do that anywhere for free. It's not a problem.
awesome. Jennifer says, I'm trying to eat like a king in the morning, a queen at midday, and a pauper in the evening. LOL. I guess, balancing off her meals so that she doesn't go to bed. At least for me, that's probably what that says. Doesn't go to bed on a full stomach.
Yeah, and may I say something about that, because that's so cool. But someone actually sent me that same message recently, and I'm always telling people that make sure you don't eat before going to bed. Allow at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to stop eating before you go to bed, because if you go to bed on a full stomach, your body is still trying to digest the food. Your metabolism slows down at night, and you wonder why you wake up feeling sluggish, or you can't get rid of the gut. It's because you're still trying to metabolize, still trying to digest food that's not being digested properly. You wake up with morning gas, sluggishness, all this stuff. So don't make sure that you leave a few hours before you go to bed. It's going to make a big difference if you're trying to lose weight. And also when it comes to chronic disease. Don't forget, all diseases begin in the gut. And your immune system, 70% is in the gut. Just some things to be aware of. These are steps that we can take to feel better in the morning, to keep ourselves going. And again, back to that quote. Again, you eating your largest meal during the day and your smallest meal at night, which is great. So I like that quote.
Listen, again, it's hitting me home because, most of those of you, some of you who know me on a personal level, I kind of tend to cook sometimes late at night. Again, I'm changing my language because you're going to change our mindset. And because I cook late at night, obviously you eat, right? And the older I get, I used to be able to stay up later. And again, because no exercise is involved, you find that you drop off to sleep with a drop of a hat, so to speak. And of course, 2 hours did not pass. So, eating late, really, I can testify, in a negative way, how that has affected me personally. So I'm so grateful. I'm so, so, so grateful for you, Vincent, for coming on here and sharing with us. Again, we are uh, so, so, so humbled by the fact that you chose to come and spend some time with us here on the wellness circle. And for those of you who came on and jumped in and jumped on and asked your questions, we do have additional questions for Vincent. We do have additional questions. Of course, if you join the group, you can always put your questions in. We make sure we can get you directed to the right person. I just want to thank each and every person. Thank you. Faustina already grabbed the ebook. Thank you, Faustina. Thank you so, so, so much. And we're going to post all that information. One last question. We're going to take this one last question, Vincent, and we're going to wrap up and get up out here. Do you agree that breakfast is the most important meal?
You know, that is the subject of discussion, but I do. I believe it's a very important meal. Okay, I think it jumpstarts your metabolism as you go. But then there's another school of thought where if you don't eat until, like, say, later in the day, you're actually burning off calories from the previous night. So I understand that. But if you're diabetic, that might be an issue. All right. So it's up to the person, but I recommend it, but I eat small meals. I eat a small meal. I don't eat no big, large meals. That's not me. And so I do think it's a good way to go, a good practice to eat breakfast before you go. But it depends pretty much on the person. But just make sure you're eating real food.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to it all. I mean, someone told me that Kellogg's, the cereal company, is the one who started that rumor about eating breakfast in the beginning of the day. So I can see why they did it. They want you to buy more of their food. But I do also believe that there's no harm in that. But I don't believe in eating a big meal at breakfast because I work out in the morning. That's me. And I like to work out in the morning because it puts the workout behind me so I can continue my day and do other things that needs to be done.
Wonderful.
That's me. And also, but that's a very good question. And I think it's a very important meal. But just be mindful what you're feeding your bodies because 20% of what you're feeding is going to your brain, going to your kids' brain. Yeah. So what are you feeding them? If you want them to do well academically in school, they need to have a clear head and they need to feed it properly with God's food, not man's food, if you want them to be healthy. That's all I'm saying, And don't forget what I said about vitamin D. I can't stress that enough. So many of us are not aware of the power of vitamin D and that we're not getting enough of it. And when you find out that you're not and you start taking vitamin D, you're going to feel so much better. Even people who have depression issues feel a lot better when they start taking vitamin D. It helps with your mood as well. Out there in the sun walking, I bet you feel really good. That's vitamin D. We're not getting rid of it. Okay.
Yes. And we are approaching the time where the weather is getting nice. And so we will definitely be taking up on our vitamin D, making sure we get out and walk some more, instead of walking, most of us who drive, instead of, maybe park a little further than you usually would and walk outside during your lunch hour, start. Let's begin and let's start. We're going to do a walk-in challenge. How about that? I had that thought while you were talking. So leaving, any final words for us before we get up out of here, sir?
No, I think you guys have been great. I appreciate you allowing me to share some information with your group. And again, self-care is a big deal today, and we're not doing enough of it. So I'm glad to be able to just contribute a little bit towards what you're doing. The kingdom messages that you're bringing. So it's my pleasure. Really is. And hopefully I'll come back again one day. Okay.
Yes, most definitely. Maybe we'll have a practical time of exercise in the next session where we can have a group exercise session going on. I know y'all gonna like that. Y'all gonna be a part of that. Okay. So if you want to come again, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. All his information is going to be provided, and we are going to be able to get in touch with him on a personal level if you want. That level, his book information is also going to be provided. And again, another individual is going to be able to hone in and get one of those books. Just because he's been so great to bless us, we're going to be a blessing to him. And that's what this wellness group is all about. If you have any issues at all and you want any further information, of course, our number, my business number is 347-674-9253. Remember that we are going from top to toe on wellness. So your mental, and every person that we've had on this platform speak about what your thought life, your perspective on everything, and that we need to change. So if you are suffering in silence or you're dealing with anything at all, call me at the Healing Oasis Services LLC. If you need any additional information as to any of our speakers that have been on this platform, of course, you can always reach out to us and we will get you pointed into the right direction. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to another segment of Self-Care Saturdays. Tune in next time, which is going to be the first Saturday in April, where we would have another professional who's going to be coming and gracing this platform, teaching us on how to be well from top to toe. Thank you again. God bless you. We love you. We appreciate you. We want to see you again. Have a good one.